Good evening. I'm Joyce Evans, in for Jacqueline Bolden.
And I'm George Mallet. Buses and trains will run for at least another day, and that is first on Fox tonight. A threatened SEPTA strike still hasn't materialized, even though SEPTA and the TWU appear to be making little progress in ongoing contract negotiations. Our Karen Thomas is live at the Wyndham Franklin Plaza with the latest. Karen.
Well, George, it looks as though both sides are even farther apart than yesterday. SEPTA's David Cohen says the union has actually moved backwards on its latest plan. Good news, though, as you said, no strike is scheduled tonight or tomorrow. However, it may be a different story come Monday morning if an agreement isn't reached. Negotiators for SEPTA and the union met twice this afternoon, and reactions were mixed.
We do have a sense of hope that we're going to be able to resolve this. There's a lot of people, there's an increasing number of people who are growing concerned about what's happening here. And they want this to be resolved. And I think that it should be resolved and it can be resolved. And we're hopeful that it can be resolved and will be resolved tomorrow.
I think I can characterize it in a couple of words. Totally unacceptable.
That's David Cohen's reaction to the union's latest package. Bodner says it's a fair deal because it saves the authorities some $3 million.
Wage, pension, and benefit improvements that are in the union's proposal would be paid for by achieving savings in a variety of areas.
Cohen disagrees.
The union's proposal that was given to us today has a cost to the authority of somewhere around $20 million over the 3 years. Not a savings of $3 million.
SEPTA wants a number of changes, including management control policies, health care coverage, and work rules.
The average TWU member misses 24% of the work year, which means that on any given day, SEPTA managers can expect approximately a quarter of its workforce to be absent.
No one was absent from an earlier strike meeting at TWU headquarters. Despite claims that some union members are ready to sign on to SEPTA's offer, President Brookins says Local 234 will go to the wall.
Local 234 is 100% together.
Now, negotiators for SEPTA and the union are expected to meet again tomorrow face-to-face. We don't have a time on that. Again, the good news is no strike is set for tomorrow, and there is no official strike deadline. However, things could get crucial by 12:01 tomorrow night. We are told that if an agreement is not reached sometime tomorrow, well, then plans could change come 12:01 tomorrow night. So again, the marathon talks continue. It is an hour-to-hour extension. The good news, however, both sides have agreed to meet up again tomorrow. So we'll stick with it, and we'll bring you the very latest. Reporting live from Center City, I'm Karen Thomas. Back to you.
Thank you, Karen. So it turns out now we're right back in the same position we were a week ago. Will SEPTA and the TWU settle on a new contract, or will union members walk out on strike? The old contract expired last Saturday night at midnight. Now the wait-and-see game seems to be getting a little old. Susan Bueller joins us live now in the newsroom with reaction to today's developments from bus drivers and their riders. Susan?
Joyce, a little old and certainly a little frustrating. You could almost hear a collective sigh of relief from both bus drivers and passengers tonight when they learned that there wouldn't be a strike, at least not tonight. They're tired of playing the waiting game. In fact, one longtime SEPTA passenger summed it up this way.
They're all nuts. The riders have to suffer.
That was the reaction from many SEPTA riders tonight at the Frankfurt Transportation Center. 1 week after the strike deadline, the buses and subways are still rolling, but the passengers feel like they've been left hanging.
I just wish they make up their mind where they're going to strike. They might as well just strike. Get it over with.
For the last week, members of SEPTA's largest union have been going hour by hour, day to day, threatening to walk off the job, idling the city's buses, trolleys, and subways. Passengers who are paying among the highest rates in the nation to ride SEPTA are frustrated and fed up.
It's not fair to the public what they're doing. Settle it, you know? Stupid.
My grandson, he wants to make plans. He has hockey after school. He goes to North Catholic. He has hockey. He has baseball practice. And I have to keep driving him back and forth when he's home. You know, it's tough.
And many riders are giving their bus drivers an earful.
They're kind of upset, you know, the day-to-day kind of stuff. And, you know, I can sympathize with them, but the union's sticking in there. We don't want to go on strike. We want to work out a deal with SEPTA.
Even some union members like Bill Farrell are frustrated. He's been through 5 strikes in his 21 years with SEPTA.
We go on strike, We never get exactly what we want. I mean, we have to make a compromise to settle the strike, and we lose whatever money we do lose while we're on strike. We never recover.
Sentiments from both sides tonight. A strike doesn't really do anybody any good. In fact, it only hurts the passengers, the riders of SEPTA. Now, there might be a little more pressure in the next coming week because the contract for union workers in the Red Arrow division actually expires April 1st. The contract for the Frontier division in Conshohocken expires April 8th. Union members in both of those unions and both of those divisions are expected to vote this week, upcoming this week, on whether or not to authorize a strike. That's the latest. Live in the newsroom, I'm Susan Bueller. George, back to you.
Thanks, Susan. Well, Amy Grossberg can't be found guilty of murder since the other defendant, Brian Peterson, pleaded guilty to manslaughter. At least that's what Grossberg's lawyers argue as they try to get a Delaware judge to toss out murder charges against their client. Peterson and Grossberg were charged with murder after the body of their newborn was found in a Newark, Delaware motel trash bin. Peterson pleaded guilty to manslaughter on March 9th, agreeing to testify against Grossberg. Now, Grossberg's lawyers will try to get charges of first-degree murder and murder by abuse and neglect tossed out before her May 4th trial.
There is new word tonight that those 4 baseball players and a coach who defected from Cuba have finally been found. A Miami sports agent says the 5 were rescued from their rickety boat yesterday by a fishing boat. He says they were just north of Cuba at the time, and today they were turned over to the Bahamian Coast Guard on Ragged Island. The agent says he spoke with the wife of the fishing boat captain who held the phone to a ship-to-shore radio so he could hear the voices of the players. The defectors had been drifting at sea since they left Cuba 11 days ago. Well, major cleanup is underway in North Carolina where a deadly tornado ripped through, leaving 2 people dead and 27 hurt. Stoneville in Rockingham County was hit the hardest. The town's business district was devastated, and a lot of homes and boats and other property were just tossed about or destroyed. Governor Jim Hunt has declared the area a disaster area, and he is asking for federal relief money. Damage is estimated to be in the millions. A similar scene is taking place in Georgia, where another killer tornado struck. Angelique Proctor has that story.
Many parts of Hall County look like they've been churning in a violent mixer. The damage numbers are in. 70 homes and trailers destroyed. 148 homes damaged so badly they are not livable. 30 to 40 cattle killed. The emergency management director makes it clear there was no way to warn people in the storm's path.
There was no way to give a warning on this storm. This storm was not picked up on radar until the tornado was on the ground and the damage was already done.
The cleanup for this 90-second whirlwind will take months.
God was looking after her. I'm sorry? He didn't mean for her to die.
It was an emotional day for the family of Shannon Bennett. The single mother spent the afternoon sifting through the hundreds of pieces her home was left in. She's convinced God had other plans for her and her 4-year-old daughter Taylor, who she clutched and held as the twister tossed them both in midair.
We called 6:52. Me and my baby should probably have been dead. I don't know how we made it, but we're here.
There is no shortage of help. More than 500 volunteers have flooded Hall County. This community is determined to recover.
And that was Angelique Proctor reporting. Cold, wet, and rainy. Somebody should have to answer for this, George.
That would be one Rob Garino. Here he is with first weather on Fox.
Well, next week at this time, we're all going to be basking in the temperatures in the 60s, so get ready for some warmer weather on the way. But we've got to get to the next 24 hours. Let's check out the numbers so far today. 41, that's all we could do for you. Low 36 degrees and just over a half inch of precip in Philadelphia. Some areas had a bit more than that. All right, tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, rain or, should I say it, snow showers and a bit cold. We'll start off at around 33. Very interesting 5-day forecast coming up. We'll have the details a little later on. Back to you.
And this is spring. Well, up next, hear what Kathleen Willey says she told the president just days after the alleged assault.
And there's word that the White House is taking a rare step to protect the president from damaging testimony.
Car airbags are coming under even